What is up, somebody? Everybody? Hello, humans, and welcome to Studio Day Heffrey. Who am I? I'm Jeff Cavanaugh, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. But stay tuned, because there may be other things happening. We just had our Dallas Cowboys State of the Union, baby. You ready to talk about what we learned? You might have missed it. You might not have seen it. Or you might have seen it, but you didn't see it. You don't know all the things. I'll tell you about all the things. Let everybody get in here. That's what we'll do. Going to do a show with Brian Broaddus later this evening. He has a radio show to do. And so when he's done, the great Brian Broaddus from 105 Through the Fan, he and I will do a show tonight after their practice. They're going to go practice right now. And in the most cowboy thing ever, Tad, their new head of PR, because you know what happened to the last guy. At one point in the press conference, it was the most cowboy thing ever when he was like, anybody have a question for Mike? Practice is going to start soon. Thank you to KG in the super chat. He says, hope you're doing well, my friend. I am. I like this guy, Jason, who says, Jeff, you're super awesome. I like that. What happened to the last guy? Just look it up. Just look up Cowboys PR, cheerleader stuff. Who is the next Cowboys starting quarterback? Dak Prescott. If you didn't hear it, they say they think they can get everybody done. And they said the fact that they want to be able to get everybody done is why they didn't try this offseason. That's why they had to let. I'm so proud of Stephen Jones. He learned how to say Biotish. Now that he's gone, he knows how to say his name. He was Biadaz forever. But now he's Biotish, now that he's not here anymore. Jeff, I swear you better not say anything except blasting that joke of a front office. Boy, we had a lot of ambiguity and we had a lot of all in. But okay, let's do things that I think we learned. Jerry said all in 100 times. The GM of the team forgot which guy wasn't at camp last year. He said when they were asking about CeeDee Lamb not being there, because CeeDee Lamb is not there, he's holding out. He said, well, who was it last year? Was it Martin? The GM of the team. At least he did get there. He got the right guy. But he wasn't real sure who wasn't there last year, and that's the GM of the team. But whatever, I don't care. We don't worry about Jerry stuff. We don't worry about Jerry stuff. We worry about the rest of the stuff. Because, yeah, if you wanted to blast the front office, my goodness, how quickly, when somebody brought up the fan base, because this is the most apathetic or frustrated I've ever seen the fan base as a whole. But apparently, the part of the fan base that has tons of money is still really happy because they went hard on. We had the highest rate of renewal we've ever had. That's from Steven, and the fastest in the history of the NFL from Jerry. And Jerry just he spent real life time talking about when we're in our owners' meetings and they put up those numbers on renewals and this and that. I tell you, the Dallas Cowboys are way out in front. And I'm just like, come on, man. Nobody wants to hear that crap. Have some awareness. Nobody wants to hear that. 100 people in the chat just slapped the like button quick. I appreciate you, Dylan. That's good looking out. Despite all the drama, excited to see how this team is built this year. Looking forward to all your content and guests as always. Thank you, Randy. Okay, so there was one thing that I actually really, really liked about the press conference. Because if you listen to smart people, and there's lots of smart people that cover the Cowboys. One is my buddy Bobby Belt, and he was talking about watch the first practice. Chuma Edoga will probably be the left tackle, and he might be the left tackle to start the season. Stephen Jones made it sound like because when they talked about the departures, Tyler Biotish and Tony Pollard, Tyron Smith, he said, we think we drafted two really good players. And that's one of the notes that I didn't have the exact wording. But Stephen Jones made it sound like, and he said by name, Guyton and Beebe. So right now it sounds like Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe in the fire. And I like that. Now, if it turns out that one of them can't do the job and Chuma needs to play for a while or Brock Hoffman needs to play for a while, then so be it. But I want Cooper Beebe snapping the ball to start the season. And throw Tyler Guyton in there. Ready to step in. Yeah, ready to step in. Thank you, Ghosty Killa. So he made it sound like that's now. You know? Not later, but now. it sounds like you're going to have those two rookies starting on the offensive line. And I want them to, because I've seen the other options at left tackle. We haven't seen a ton of Brock Hoffman, but I've seen a lot of Cooper Beebe. Dude can freaking play. That dude will smash into people. Derek, I'm only clicking on this to support you, Jeff, because you deserve it. I'm out on the Cowboys this year. I take it. Look, anybody who's out on the Cowboys, still click the stuff, you know? Homie's just trying to make a living over here. We got a pool fund. Got things we got to work on. I think that was the only thing we really learned. I mean, there's other nuggets in there that both CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons want to be the highest paid non-quarterback in football. And those words grab your attention. But we already knew that, right? The highest paid non-quarterback in football is Justin Jefferson. So obviously CD wants $1 more because he's the next guy. And obviously Parsons is going to want more than the last pass rusher to sign, which is also up in the 30s. Like, yeah, so that's obvious. Perfect year for growing pains, lame duck season. It really, like, it could be. In order for this to be an awesome season, I do think they'll win 10 or more. Just because if your offensive line's functional at all, and CD's healthy, and Dak's healthy, and Parsons is healthy, and Tank's healthy, they're going to win you 10. Because they're going to win 4 or 5 in the division. They're going to win you 10. But this is a situation where, based on their offseason, they're like, yeah, we realize that we have to pay 3 guys a whole bunch of money. So we're going to cut costs other places. And then we're going to see how many of these draft picks we hit on. We're going to throw them in the fire. And we're going to see what we can do with guys who don't make a bunch of money. KG, how much we got on the pool fund? Hashtag party at Jeff's. About 19 grand. We go about 19 on the pool. Pools aren't cheap, but we're okay. You're not allowed to contribute to the pool fund unless you're wealthy. I demand it. Let YouTube ads pay for the pool. I missed the speech. Did anyone ask if it's the hot dog or the hot dog bun? They did not.
No, this is a hot dog bun. I think it's a hot dog, too.
It is always the hot dog and the bun. I like the idea that when asked about the running backs, when are you flying into Cali? Let me double check my email. I'm ADHD, so if you ask me a question in the middle of a point, I will forget the point I was going to make. So make sure that I come back to it. Running backs, okay? Let me come back to it. Let me check my flights because I booked them. I am flying out on the 29th, so Monday. And I got an email that said my media parking pass was here, but when I went to accept it, it said it had been canceled. So I don't know if I've said something that means I'm not going to have a credential, but I think I do. They told me I did. So we'll see. Running backs. They don't need to see a bunch of, why don't we just start today by blank? Jerry Jones. Okay. Which button is that? Hold on. I don't have my buttons written down. I don't have my thing open. There it is.
Why not just start the day picking it up?
Yep. Thank you, KG. Anytime Jerry or Steven speak, I hear them with the Jeff Cavanaugh tinge. I do like that because I'm coming back to running backs. I do like that people tweeted me when Steven talked because his first answer had both an obviously and an at the end of the day. And I want you to think of me when they say those things. Running backs. One thing I do like about Mike McCarthy is Mike McCarthy is really good at management of players in terms of trying to prevent injury. He's got a good handle on that stuff. He's really smart about it. And he even mentioned Zeke Elliott. And that, like, that's one of the first guys you think about in the running back room is he's been in the league a long time. He's had a bunch of carries. You don't have to do a whole bunch with him. He doesn't need to be here to begin with, but maybe that means you can get a bunch of Deuce and a bunch of Nathaniel Pete. And maybe you can find out if you've got a guy that makes this running back room better than we think this running back room is. Pro Football Focus thinks it's the 32nd best running back room in the NFL. There's 32 teams in the NFL. But maybe you will get a bunch of Deuce and a bunch of Pete, and somebody can show up and they'll be like, holy crap, there's a guy that actually needs to play. There's this media party and the fan host won't be attending. It'll take place after they leave. Oh, yeah, I guess if I'll be there for the media party, I don't want to go to the media party. The media party's not fun. Like, if you've never been, it's cool that They rent out the entire outside on the ocean section of Nobu and Malibu or whatever. And it's cool. But eventually it's just like, what? Anybody here that I wanted to talk to, I can talk to elsewhere. I don't need to be here for this. Y'all are forgetting about Royce Freeman. He's a dog. Royce Freeman might be better than Zeke. I just don't know if it matters. Like, if they think that their best running backs are Rico, Royce, Zeke, it doesn't matter. I can get rid of Zeke. So I think Royce Freeman's in a tough spot. Unless they think that he's the lead dog. So in some ways that's fun, and at least in the way that I enjoy competitions where jobs aren't secure. I like that there's a competition at left tackle, at center, at linebacker, I guess at corner until Diggs is ready to go. Maybe at safety. There's actually competition on this team. Wide receiver 3. I do like that. I don't like that I feel like the competition at running back isn't actually open, and I don't love the competitors that we have there. Barry Sanders is better than Zeke. That's a good point. That's a good point. Deuce getting brought down by finger tackles. Well, he didn't get a lot of chances either. How big a Panther is Dak next year? I think Dak stays. But I could be a psycho. I think all 3 of their big name guys are staying. And they said they think they can get it done. They said it during the State of the Union. They think that they can get that done, and then basically said that's why we didn't have an offseason, because we can't spend any other money because we got to give all our money to these guys. But then they did the other thing where I love when Jane Slater just kind of goes at Jerry a little bit. And her question was, let's see if I can get it about right. She's like, you talked about having to see leaves fall with CeeDee Lamb. Justin Jefferson is signed. What other leaves do you need to see? No, that was a different question. Hers was something along the lines of, we've been talking about the CeeDee Lamb contract since April, and we've seen this game before. Zach Martin holds out. He gets paid. Zeke holds out. He gets paid. Why don't you just pay them before so you can have them at training camp? And Jerry's answer was, I don't know. He said, I don't know. Broadus has said to watch out for Tampa Bay if Dak becomes available. Watch out for a lot of teams if Dak becomes available. He's going to be a $60 million man somewhere. It's just a matter of if it's here or somewhere else. Give Dallas media props for that press conference. Yeah, they actually asked the questions. You can't worry about the people out there that are the loudest and the most negative, because like I get it on social media where it's like, Cowboy, you guys aren't going to ask them anything. And it's like people, they ask them everything you could want to know. You're just an angry and bitter person if you think that somebody's supposed to ask Jerry a question that goes, hey, Jerry, that's your daughter, huh? What is that? Like, what is that question? But because you're a frustrated Cowboy fan, you just want people to yell at them. And it's just like, okay. All 3 of them should have just stayed home. That would be fun. Get a bunch of Trey Lance out there. I can't wait. So the reason I'm flying in on the 29th is I'm not worried about these first few practices because I'm not going to be out there for like 3 weeks. So I'm going to get out there the day before the first padded practice, and then I'm going to come home when they finish their week of practice and leave to play the Rams. I'm going to leave to go home because I think that's the best time to be at camp is the first week and a half of padded practice. So that's when I'm going to be out there because that's what I want to know. I want to see pads on, do the things. I miss hearing you on the sideline with Brian and Camp. Happy to see you guys doing vids again. I know it was a work thing before that prevented it, but happy to have you guys back. Yes, once I was no longer on a different radio station, I believe is kind of what made it so that he was able to do things with me again. Do the Jerry voice. What do you want me to do the Jerry voice about? Honestly, Mike gave a lot of I don't give a F energy. No, I think Mike McCarthy is just exhausted by stuff like that. And he'll do it because it's part of the job. He doesn't want to sit at the State of the Union address and listen to the owner talk about their season ticket renewals and how great it was. He wants to football. He just wants to go football. But he's got to sit there and wait for people to ask Jerry Jones 30 questions before somebody asks him something about football. And then he's like, yay, let's do some football. Instead, you got Jerry, and when it's all the questions, there's a lot of ambiguity there, and is and was, and we ambigued. And when we did, and the ambiguity of Hamby and Martin, remember maybe it was it Zach? Was it Martin that wasn't here? And wasn't and is, but he's, and now we got, boy, we're ready. and we go all in. And that's Jerry. Just do the whole show in Jerry voice. The first padded practice is the 30th, I believe. That's why I'm flying in on the 29th. Going to stay with my boy Dave Hellman, who I haven't seen in a while, on the 29th, and then head up for practice and hope that I still have a credential. I don't know what I did wrong, that my parking credential didn't want to come to me when I went to click on it. I might have effed up. I might have been mean to somebody. Might have lost my credential. Might be doing it from the stands. But I can do it from the stands. It's no problem. Carpool with Dave. I don't know if he's going up. He doesn't know for sure yet. It's a lot of ambiguity now. And then Steven's like, at the end of the day, obviously. I like when you get a little Steven chuckle, kind of off mic, but into his mic when Jerry says something and he needs his courtesy laughs, and you'll catch Steven off mic. I need to perfect that laugh. That'll be good. Is there anything else I need to get to from this? Again, we're going to have a show later tonight with Brian. It'll be like 10 p.m. Central, I bet, because he's got to do his show and then make his way back to his hotel or whatever. So it'll be later tonight. Jefferson stuff. Guyton and BB sounds like they're going to play early. They sold tickets and stuff. CeeDee and Micah want all the money. They think they can get them all done. Kalishaw asked, it's always a fun question because you know the answer is because this is what I do. He was just like, coaches' jobs are on the line, but yours isn't, your son's isn't. Nobody else does it this way. Why do you do it this way? And why do you think that that's going to work? And Jerry's just like, I do it because I like it. That's the way I like it. You going to Oxnard? Yes, I'm going to Oxnard. 29th to the 7th? Something like that? Jeff, will the show be live? I think so. I think I'll have a live show with Broadus tonight, as long as he's cool with it. Steven said there's 12 or 13 Pro Bowlers on the team. Yeah, that was a very Cowboy thing too. I couldn't hear who it was off mic. I thought it might have been Tad, the PR guy, when Jerry's like, how many Pro Bowlers we got? And 14, 12 All Pros. And Jerry's like, 12 All Pros. Like, he was just prepared to tell you how awesome their team is, despite the fact that they didn't really try. So yeah, go check out the Deadpool movie before the show. Maybe. All right. We did it. There's a State of the Union. Cowboys football has arrived. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Now this is a hot dog bun.
Why not just start the day picking it up?
All right. Love you. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. I love you. Be easy.